And we're live! Another episode, a very special episode, since this is Sunday and not Thursday. So you know it's a special episode, because I don't do this on the weekend, guys. I actually live a life. Anyways, we are with Champ Talks, a long-awaited feature that's back. We have with us Team Tap Out, Mr. Shane Douglas,
Hello.
Mr. Matt Childress,
How's it going, guys?
and that guy Daniel.
What's going on?
Gentlemen, first off, let me congratulate you on an outstanding victory in Worlds. It was a hard-fought battle, from what I understand.
Yeah, it was pretty tough. We had to pick the matchups correctly, and we managed to do that very well, and we got rewarded for it. And I was pretty hyped when we won. I was excited.
Yes, you had your little tie, I remember.
Yeah, every event I wear a tie. Yep. We all did have ties. Yeah.
We all wore them.
All right, so let's go down the row. Shane, who did you play?
In teams,
No, I mean who? Like, what was the deck?
the character I played K-Dash, the most fun deck I've ever played in my life, probably.
So it's your fault he's
broken
banned.
deck.
Probably mine and Kevin Broberg.
All right. Mr. Childress, who did you play?
I played Jack Lambright, so throws dot deck.
Jack Lambright or Jack Lamborn?
Lamborn, sorry, did I say Lambright?
Yes, you did.
Jack, the guy that throws stuff.
And Mr. Hughes, who did you manage to pilot?
I played Kim.
Played Kim. That Kim was the dark horse of the thing, because I didn't think anybody saw Kim coming.
Nobody saw Kim coming, and that was the best part of it.
And your deck harkened back to the days of Yorn Extended, where you only ran 12 attacks.
I ran 11.
You're not helping the case.
You only need 2 to win. Come on.
That's true.
I mean 3 if you want to go broken, but
We like broken. This is UFS. All right. So who wants to fill us on the fantastic tale of your journey to championshiphood, if that is indeed such a thing?
that singular moment where we got Matt Childress like less than 24 hours before the event.
You should tell him that story, Easy.
No, you got it.
I don't have it.
It started
I think
with
you
you
talked about
with Sontag.
Okay. I guess I'll tell it. How did this go again? All right, so we were originally supposed to have Tyler McCartan on our team. He was the guy who topped with the Kim deck. He topped 4 events in a row, and he's only been playing for 4 months. So it was going to be me playing K-Dash, Tyler McCartan playing Kim, and Dan Hughes playing... Who was it again? Who were you going to play?
Jack Lamborn.
The Jack Lamborn, right.
Mm-hmm.
So it was going to be us 3. But Tyler McCartan ended up having jury duty the week of Gen Con, so he couldn't go. So then we wanted to get our friend Adam Sontag to play Jack Lamborn, and we were going to have Dan Hughes play the Kim deck. But at the very last moment, Adam Sontag was like, hey, I have to stay home. My mom and my dad are going on a trip, and they need someone to watch the animals at night.
Like 36 hours before we were supposed to leave.
Yeah, it was like... It was upsetting. But anyways, we got there to Gen Con, and we were going to have Jordan Markle play the Jack Lamborn deck. And but he hasn't played UFS in like 3 years. So we ran a couple practice matches through, and a couple practice games, actually. And even though he won both games, he wasn't optimizing his plays. And he told us that if we could find a third member besides him to play with us, then he would gladly give up his spot. So at the very last moment, like that night, Matt Childress hit me up, and he's like, hey, if you guys still need a third member, then I'll be on your team. And as soon as I got that text, I texted him back, and I said, will you play Jack Lamborn? And he said, yep, I'll play it. Just tell me any interesting tech or whatever. And that moment, Dan Hughes and I, it was like a huge weight was lifted. We finally got a legit third member. And
somebody that knows the meta, and it wasn't so much about knowing the deck, it was about knowing the meta.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how much meta did you really need to know when it was mostly going to be Yori and K-Dash and Vespera?
I think even though...
out there.
Well, it is teams, so not every not every teamer is going to have like those like decks. Like there are the big five, or there were the big five, but like there could be like the wild decks. Like Andrew Alexa was playing. Who did he play? Andy's
Andy.
Andy, right? And then Danny Fung played.
I was wrong when I said meta. It's just knowing the cards that are going to be played against you. So what they can do to you when you played it. And that was the issue with having Jordan on our team, because even though he could win with his deck against certain matchups, it was expecting the unexpected.
Right, like he was still reading cards because he didn't know what the cards did, so he was in the process of reading cards a lot.
So if he wanted to go off a little sooner, like he didn't know that P-Touch was going to wreck him, or he could get Reverse Kaplout and that type of.
What else?
I think Matt should tell his side of the story.
Yeah, I mean, when you guys approached me about having a third spot, I talked to my friend Hayden, who came up with me, and he and I were planning on trying to just maybe pick up a third as well. And I told him that you guys had asked me to join up and what his thoughts were, and he said, "Hey man, if you guys think that you can do it, go for it." I was like, "I think we can do it. Let's go for it." And they handed me that Jack deck, and we ended up taking it all the way. I mean, the rest is kind of history, as I would say. I mean, there were a lot of really close games and a lot of really tough matches, and I'm pretty sure, final round I got 2-0'd, so that was awesome against Diori. And I was like, I know this matchup, I know this deck, and then he just went off on turn 2 every time, and even making the right plays and using the right cards to try to stay alive, it just didn't matter. Divine Tribs, after you've already had 4 attacks thrown at you that turn, still kind of kill you. So, it is what it is. It's the game. It was fun, and we won.
All right, so what were some of the matches like? What were some of your favorite teams you faced?
Well, we dropped 1 round in Swiss.
We dropped round 2
second
against Angela and Jeremy Ray's team, and who's on their team? Angel Alexa, Jeremy Ray, and Danny Fung.
And Danny, yeah.
We played them round 2, and we lost against them. But ever since then, we won every round.
I lost my first 2 games of the day. I was playing very, very bad UFS. I mean, granted, my first loss of the day was against Vespera, and I failed my 3rd control check, turns 1 and 2. So I was already ruined from that. But I played very, very badly. I lost to Jack Hill's Vespera and Alexa's Andy. And not to take away credit from either of them, but I just was on tilt from a player a couple weeks earlier, and I had not recovered from it. But after losing to Alexa, I really beat myself up. I went undefeated the rest of the day.
All right. We'll just go down the line. So, I mean, Shane, what kind of deck? It was K-Dash. Was there anything that separated your K-Dash from the other K-Dashes?
Was there anything that separated my K-Dash from the other K-Dashes? I don't really think so. I noticed that a lot of the K-Dashes in teams, they were playing the year 2000X, and I think they were only playing that because I played it in Atlanta and it was in the list. So, but the style of deck I ran there, I just wanted a consistent deck. I didn't want any fancy tricks or anything like that. I just wanted a straight up consistent deck that I played the best I can, and with the K-Dash deck, you don't need to discard their hand anyways because all your attacks are monster speed, and you get stunned and all that. So I was just playing a very tight game, and I didn't need the year 2000X, but I noticed a lot of the other K-Dashes were playing that card.
All right. Matt, what about you? Any difference in your deck versus anybody else's?
Maybe. We changed the board around a little bit right before. We kind of sat down and talked about some of the things that we would need in there, and added a couple of cards in and took a couple out. But I mean, honestly I hadn't even played the deck until that day. So they sent me the list the night before, and I kind of looked over it, and it seemed pretty standard, but it seemed really solid. Pay to protect, and then lots of damage reduction, lots of blocks that you can recur that are on throws. I mean, it's Jack. That's what he does.
Yep.
It was definitely a bigger Jack deck than most of them as well. There was a lot of one-ofs that were just thrown in there for random tech.
All right,
Yeah.
Dan, so this kind of falls on you since the question I just asked the other two really can't apply to you. So what made you decide to run Kim?
Um, I've always loved loop style decks. I know that sounds just well, of course they're broken in their own way, but I've always told Tyler before this, like, had he not chosen Kim before me, it would have been a deck that I would have been running the whole time. And I feel like I showed him that weekend why I should have been running it the whole time. Shane came. After the Poughkeepsie PTC, we were going to put Necro Drivers in because just another answer for Nailed It. And Shane came up with the idea of adding UFS House instead, and that was probably one of the most important cards in the entire deck. Between you stacked every card on top of your deck, preparing it, whether it was for Holiday Cheer, whether it was stacking 4 cards in advance because you could prepare your check and then prepare your Team Kim checks for what you were going to draw into your hand. And then if you played Hangatsu-sen, you could prepare the 4th card to be a 2-check if there was 2 attacks in it, and end up drawing another card, because every single card in your hand is another attack that you're playing, because you're pitching, committing. So being able to prepare that far in advance, and being able to take out cards like Nailed It, or any key pieces, if they had Orders Horizon, it was one of the most important cards in the deck. It's actually one of the key pieces that allowed my deck to beat Jack Lamborn in the finals, which that same exact Jack Lamborn deck beat this Kim deck 2 weeks prior in the top 4 of the Poughkeepsie PTC.
All right. Now, Shane, I understand that not only are you now a Team World Champ, but you went, I believe you were Swiss Champ?
I was not Swiss champ. No, I was ranked second after Swiss, but Kevin Broberg and I were both at table 1, the final round of Swiss, and we were both 5-0. And he won the first game, then I won the second game, and then we went to time on the third game. So we were both 5 wins and a draw, but he had the higher tiebreakers. So he was the Swiss champ, and then I got diversified.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up. I thought you went under. Yeah, you did.
I did go undefeated, just I didn't make top 8 because of diversity.
Yeah. Welcome to UFS.
Well, actually, speaking on that, I wanted to get you guys' thoughts, as I've done the past 2 videos, on some of the rule changes that are being discussed, and your thought on the bannings.
I love the bannings. Every single one of them I like. I think it's healthy for the game.
Now, we all saw on the forums, and did you guys agree with some of the reasons that were given, or do you think they should have given other reasons for certain guards?
I have to look at it again.
The fact that card availability was brought up, that was disturbing to me. But besides that, I liked the reasons.
Yeah, I think that the only reason that was probably mentioned was just something quick and easy to explain. Like if you try to dive further in a quick post to explain some of the other reasonings behind the bannings of those cards, I imagine it becomes more challenging. Because I mean, anytime you're going to take a card out of the format, there's lots of contributing factors. It's not just, oh, well, no one can get their hands on Kaplow, so Kaplow can't be in the game anymore. But I agree, the fact that that was the only reason stated, it's not ideal, but knowing that there's more reasons to it, I mean, I don't think anyone would be like, no, Kaplow's totally fine and it should still be there. I mean, we're rushing you for 10 damage on your turn, stowing you out, looking at your hand the rest of the game. That's totally fair. Let's do this.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agreed that it should have been gone, and I liked all the bannings. I feel that there should have been an errata on Jack Lamborn, but I really liked the erratas.
Well, we could give you time. I wouldn't be surprised if after the Michigan BTC at the end of the month, we might see something happen. I don't know. That's just my pure speculation, but you never know.
I mean, obviously, it feels like they're just waiting to see if the Throw Hate and Darkstalkers balances him out.
Well, they also banned Pay to Protect, so that puts
That's what I was about to say. Banning Pay to Protect is huge. Tell me about it. I went through 4 of them.
Now, Paralyzing Touch, it got the availability reason for it being banned, but we really also know the reason it probably got banned. The real reason they probably should have banned it was already ratted once. They're not going to rat it a second time.
Yeah, I mean, that card should have been printed with a 5 difficulty, and then it's probably more fair and balanced, because then it can't be picked up by Penance, and it can't be picked up by Vespera, and then it's a 6 on their turn, which is far more difficult to obtain.
Yeah, and I mean, they wanted to hurt Vespera as much as they could.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, they wanted to take her out of the game without having to ban a starter deck character.
Now, Penance. I was honestly surprised I was on there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a free card during your opponent's turn of your choice, in a deck that's already doing that as well. And then you add in things like Smug Satisfaction. You can just get so many uses out of it that it's kind of ridiculous.
Like, it's kind of crazy that you just flip a Foundation face down and get a +1 to your hand, so you can get any block you want just by flipping a Foundation face down.
Exactly. It needed to be a destroy ability.
Yeah.
Now, Shane, you actually just came from the Darkstalkers pre-release. What
I did.
vast knowledge can you impart on the viewing audience?
Lilith, this character is really good. She's really fun to play. I played in 2 pre-releases. I played in the Friday night pre-release and a Saturday night pre-release. And I chose Lilith both times, and I went 4-0 in both events. So I went 8-0 the entire weekend with Lilith. So I really want to build a constructed deck around Lilith. I can't say too much about Morgan because I didn't play as Morgan, but I saw people playing as Morgan. So I played against a lot of Morgans, but I never lost to a Morgan. So I would have to actually play the Morgan deck to get a feel for it and give input on that. But as far as Lilith goes, I really like how she plays. And like I said, I want to build a constructed deck with her.
Okay, now, prior to the show, and I'm sure you guys have heard me say it, I do not like Lilith because of what she looked like she could do. What was I missing with her?
What does that mean? What do you mean by?
He thought she was underwhelming, I believe.
Yes, because she was, I believe, 19 or 18 health?
19 health.
She's
19 health with no defensive ability. So why is she so good as opposed to what initial thoughts on her when me and Slam were talking about it?
Okay, so do you want me to explain why she's so good?
Yes, please.
Okay, so all of her attacks are very cheap, and they have really easy blocks. Like there's a +1 high, a +1 low, and a +0 mid. And there's a foundation that when you block with an attack that has a printed damage of 3 or less, you commit it and your check gets +2. And then at the end phase, you add that attack back to your hand. So you get value out of your card and out of your control check. So you play your block their attack, and then you commit that card and add it back to your hand. So now you have it to attack them on their turn. Another thing that makes her really nasty is that all of her attacks get +2, 3, or 4 speed. Sometimes 5 if you have 4 of a card out. So all of her attacks are 6 speed for 3 damage. And you can pick them up with her ability once per turn. And there's one attack called Mary Turn that if you played it a second time, it gets +2 speed and +2 damage. So you can make that thing 5 damage. And there's a foundation called Mary where you can give it -1 speed and give it +1 damage. But if you played that attack twice, if you played a copy of that attack twice or more, then it gets +2 damage. So she can put out a lot of damage for very cheap. And so she's very good at attacking, and she's very good at blocking.
All right. Okay. So now I can see that a little bit. So maybe she's a little bit better. Hopefully I won't get a phone call immediately after the show from the 2 guys that keep pestering me, and I love those 2 guys to death because they're my play group. They were very adamantly defending Lilith, and I just kept telling them, here's why it's bad. Here's why it's bad. Now that you've explained it, she's not quite as bad.
Oh, she's really good. I like her a lot. The only thing that is preventing me from kind of wanting to play her in Constructed is that she's an easy target for Moon and Nailed It, and I really dislike those cards because you can't continue to use her abilities over and over again. But I understand why those cards are around.
Well, she has an asset that handles Moon.
Yeah, she has an asset that handles Moon. Nailed It's a little harder. You got to play Descent or something.
And the hesitant thing about playing a 7-hander without a defensive ability is it's always been scary to do so. But the meta's gravely shifting from these bans. So it's opening the window for decks like that.
And she's a pseudo 9 hand size if you can get it online. If you reverse with her on their turn and deal 3 damage, her ability doesn't say during your turn, so you can pick that back up So you can do hilarious things with like shifting tech.
That's what Tim Keith said. He really likes shifting technology with Lilith.
Yeah, it's really good. Like you can like block an attack, shifting tech, hit them, like give it the speed from her, pick it back up, eat their next attack, then shifting tech them again. So you're only taking things that printed because they can't play enhances if it deals damage.
Right.
So it's neat. She's got lots of cool tricks. She does cool stuff with Soul Thresher. On the skill enhanced phase, your next one gets -2 difficulty. She can just play that on a 3. Next one gets -2. Play something larger, then pick it back up, play it again.
She has this one attack called Innocent Hug. It's a throw for 3 damage, and if it's not blocked, your next check it's +3. If it's or your next check to play a 3 damage attack, it's +3. So it's like that card's really good. Like, well, do I want to waste a card out of my hand, take 1 less damage to make their next card like harder to play? Like it's a really good attack, and there's a lot of other like characters who can use those attacks as well. So overall, I really like the Tins. They're I had a lot of fun with them.
So were there a lot of people playing Morgan as opposed to Lilith at your?
I think there was sort of like an even amount of characters playing, of people playing them, but a lot of people wanted to play like Victor or like the other characters in like the Tins, because when you crack open the tin, every card in the deck has the 3 symbols, but so like you can take a character and put it on top, and just play a different character instead. So,
was there one particular character you're seeing more of out of the additional characters?
Probably Victor. People who played Lilith wanted to, or people who got the that tin wanted to play Victor because of like the stun and stuff like that. Because in Lilith's set, she has a 2 difficulty attack, then a 3 difficulty attack, then a 4 difficulty, and a 5 difficulty. So you can stun a lot if you draw the right stuff. But overall, Lilith is better because her cards go well with her. But there were a lot of people playing Victor. A couple people played Huitzel, or whoever that guy's name is, the robot. Huitzel, yeah. A lot of people, or not a lot of people, a few people played him. Anakaris saw play.
How was that? Because Anakaris looks very technical and very interesting.
Well, it's actually very good in the draft because Lilith pumps speed, so he can ready himself, and then Morgan pumps speed and damage, so he can ready himself then. So you like gain vitality and do a bunch of stuff. So it actually worked very well. I thought at least.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like playing him with Nofos off the air could be a thing. Yeah. Since he has 3 enhances on him. I mean, I'm just saying. Free damage is free.
Yep.
Free damage is always free. So, gosh, what else is there about the Darkstalkers? I mean, do you think this is going to help balance out the meta a little bit more?
I think it's going to add a lot of tools to the meta.
Or do you think, well, absolutely. Do you think this is going to speed it up even more, or do you think this is going to like give us a bit more tempo and mellow it out a bit?
I'm actually not sure. I think the Michigan PTC will be a very good not like a testing ground, but it'll be interesting to see the like top decks in that PTC. And that's only in a few weeks, so I'm pretty psyched for that. I'll be going.
Have you guys pre-registered?
I have not pre-registered yet. I should probably do that tonight.
You should. It helps out.
I know. I really should.
I will not be there, so I will not be pre-registering. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I won't be able to make it either. So.
What?
I got a little girl coming. I gotta save my money.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, Matt, what's your excuse? We got Charles first, we got Shane going.
It's in Michigan, and as much as I love those guys and the UFS larger community, that's a little bit of cash that that I can let go to fly up there because I'm not driving. That's way too far to drive. They drove down to Atlanta, and I told them all they were crazy.
You're coming from where again, Matt?
Upstate South Carolina. So
okay,
it's a little bit of a hike.
That's right. Daniel, you're from Massachusetts, right?
I am.
Where in Massachusetts?
What's up?
Where in Massachusetts?
I'm in Plymouth.
Really? You're that close?
I am?
No, all my father's side of the family's in Halifax and Whitman.
I know. I remember you saying that. I'm very close to both.
No one
I'm
knows
on-
where London is. It's only a 6-mile diameter town.
Yeah, Halifax. I'm 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
You should go to my uncle's indoor golf range.
Uh, you should hook me up.
I'll tell him you're coming.
Right. Add it to the books. It's happening. Hey
And
Shane,
Shane-
did anyone
Do
play QB at that pre-release?
Yes, actually, Jack Hill sided into QB because
I
when
gotta
I was
know.
playing.
I gotta know with QB. Is the misprint still on the card?
Yeah, it's still there. She is gender male.
Still awesome.
I mean, look at the stinger on that. That's definitely a dude.
That's funny.
Look, my logic technically works. Since she is a hive being, they could all look like that, and they could all be male or female.
Yeah, I read something on the Wikia for that, and it seems I saw like QB and HBs or something like that.
Yes.
And yeah, and then they said that the males can look like the females. So it's just a little fun fact.
See, I told you that was right. Never doubt my Darkstalker Lord. Now, also Shane, you got a job. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited, but it's exciting and scary at the same time because, yeah, I'll be working with UFS, but I'll be driving out to a new life, and that's it still hasn't 100% sunk in, and I don't think it will until I actually get in my car and drive out there. But I'm pretty excited.
And realize you're going to be living with Jason and AJ for the rest of your days.
This job is
I don't know about
forever.
the rest of it.
Realize it's until you die. That's what I just told you.
I'm gonna try.
That's fine,
I'm gonna try to stay with UFS as long as I can.
You better set up your area to stick with UFS even after you leave.
Yeah, when I went to the pre-release, I took a couple of the new players who wanted to play UFS. They were at Gen Con and they saw how passionate I was about the game, and they're like, "Yo, you really inspired me to play UFS." So I took them with me to the pre-release, and they had a lot of fun too. So they're gonna play.
Awesome. Anything else you guys want to talk about? We got time.
Anything else you want to talk about?
As he dives for cover.
Well, I'm pulling out the rares. I pulled a lot of rares from the pre-release. I think Blizzard Sword. That card's that card is gonna pop a lot. I actually pulled a playset of Blizzard Sword.
Oh wow.
How many tips did you go through?
10.
Oh, okay. So I brought 3 other people with me, and I told everybody that I would pay for them. So the first day we got 2 Morgans and 2 Liliths, and the next day we got 2 Morgans and 2 Liliths. So 12 total packs, I think. Is that right? No, 24 total packs.
Yeah.
Yeah, 24 total packs. So I got the play set of Blizzard Sword. It's very nice, and I'm going to be playing that with Leona Blade. That's like the combo to do.
You're gonna build a
Think
good
about playing
deck.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, no, I'll advise against these decisions.
Nah, I have to do the R&D. I want to play Leona too, 8-hand size. I really like Leona, but I just haven't really found a way to make her work. But with this Blizzard Sword, something can happen. I also got like 3 Fair Salvation. This was the one that was like first previewed on the UFS page.
That card's good.
Yeah, that card's really good.
That's actually a really good card. I want to see how that's going to interact with some things.
Me too. I like the
It's
symbols on
almost
it.
slammed into Ben Shoemaker off of air.
Exactly. That was the thing. I mean, I have the Shoemaker Air Chaos, but I think that allows it to go even more straight air.
I mean, +2 low block with Breaker 2 and on card momentum generation with this character and multiple 1 tick. Sign me up.
So you don't have to play Divine Trip. You don't have to play that 2 check. This is a 3 check. So it makes the deck a little more consistent.
That 5/3 setup.
I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna build that tonight. That's a good idea.
I already have it built.
Do you?
Yeah,
All right. I guess just send me the UFS Ultra link.
I will.
Yeah.
Hey, in those Morgan decks, did Was anyone getting any good mileage out of Versatile Wings?
Versatile Wings. What is that?
It's a 2/4 with a +3 mid block on it. It's a free enhance. Your attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage. Only playable with the top card of discard piles an attack. Playable while committed.
Oh yeah. A lot of people were using that card.
Yeah.
There's a thing with Soul Fist. It's like commit 1 foundation. If this attack is not blocked, you add it to your momentum. So like it doesn't deal damage. It just goes straight to your momentum. So like that was the kind of lackluster attack.
It's kind of like what Kunai should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that was I guess the only card that was a little subpar in the Morgan deck. But for the most part, her attack finishing shower, that attack's really good. It's like one guy made it like 13 speed for like 20 damage or something like that. It was pretty brutal.
Ouch.
Okay, now currently, unbeknownst to you guys, you are currently being mocked and taunted by the good Mr. Nathan Pruitt.
Oh yeah, that guy's awesome.
Now language. He says that he could take all you guys out with his staff card, and that you should all beware the 5+ damage Ultra Cork Buster.
I've seen his staff card. I have seen.
I didn't actually get to play him to see what his staff card does.
I didn't play him either.
All of them are pretty ridiculous.
It's like it's a free enhancer attack. It's +5 damage, and it's like a response every time you take damage. You reduce it by 2. 6 hand size, 41 health, and at the start of the game, you pick 2 foundations out of your deck and add them to your staging area.
Is it your non-throw attack or is it just period?
Just period.
Okay.
So like he pulls out Contacting and Holiday Cheer and becomes an 8 hand size instantly. So it's pretty good.
Let me think. What else is he? How else is he taunting you guys? Because this is how I got to do comments now and questions because of the comments and question section being deleted from Facebook or from YouTube. Excuse me. I love it so. Oh, he says Shane he works for it and knows that you'll apply yourself and do a good job.
Thanks, Nathan. I appreciate it.
All right, what else? Any other fantastical stories of wonderment?
We're still working on our card. We still have no idea what the abilities are going to be or with the artist. We haven't found an artist yet. And we haven't really settled on abilities either.
But we got a name.
What's the name?
I think I have a good artist for us, but I think that we got to figure out what the image is going to be.
Yeah. That's the biggest step. The name of the card is probably going to be Too Damn Good. I'm pretty excited.
UFS.
Because it's UFS.
Only allowed because it's on the name of the card. What about symbols?
We're not sure yet.
Those are kind of still in flux as well. You would think, oh man, I get to make a card. I automatically know what I want to do. And you would think all 3 of us had that exact idea, but that wasn't even the case. We're all like, okay, so what do we even want to try to do in the game that we can't currently do, or we would like to see more of, or whatever? Like those are the kind of questions you end up asking yourself. It's been a really interesting process, I think, at least.
I think like the thing I want to do is I want to be responsible for putting something fun into the game, something people are going to have a lot of fun with, and it's just it's been quite a long process, and we still have no idea what we want to do. But I do want to make something fun that makes people like want to play with our asset and have fun with it.
That sounds like a good plan, and hopefully it'll be as widely used as a lot of the ones that are out now.
Exactly.
That's the dream of every champ. That's the dream of every champ.
And to see a band.
I had three separate champ assets in my Kim deck, 2 copies of each.
They're pretty good.
Was that 2 UFS House, 2 Nailed It, or the other 2?
Zealot Rush.
Yeah, the Rush, yep.
I know that card. Why do I know Zealot Rush?
It's
really good.
No, I think there's another reason I know that card.
Didn't your sister do the artwork?
I'm not saying she did.
What's up about the artwork?
Yeah, my sister Jane did the artwork.
Oh, I was unaware.
Yeah, send some to me, and I'll have her sign it, and I'll send it back. We'll get back to you guys eventually. It's not like we don't need champ cards down here.
Yeah.
So can we stop for a second and talk about how fly those White Templars are? That everyone made Top Cut's got a place out of, because they're pretty fly.
They are.
White Templars. I did not realize that was what the... Is there a reason why they were whited like that? Is that supposed to help promote... Here, hold on. Keep holding it up, Daniel.
They're just an alternate art version that they were doing for Worlds this year for Top Cuts. Allegedly, that's going to be the only way to obtain them, but I saw them on the new redemption list as well. But they're like
Were they really?
500 packs. Some absurd amount of packs.
Yeah, I think there were like 400 packs or something like that. But they're pretty cool. So I don't know if like how much is 400 packs?
It's like over close to 20 boxes.
That's a lot of Earth monies. So
Yeah. For one. It's not a place that's for one.
But they're so good looking. Like I hope like Revoke gets the same treatment, like a white Revoke.
And the other cool thing about them is they have the different templating for the effects also. If you can hold them up to show them as well, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, like it's our card pool. I don't know how good my webcam is.
Hold on.
I have already.
There we go.
Oh.
You guys want closer? I think I could.
There you
Go
go.
with it.
Perfect right here. All right.
Oh, God, it's coming right at us.
Yeah, I like the R card pool in the brackets. I really like that.
Yeah, because that signifies where the ability actually takes place. So
Yeah.
it clears things up a little bit for people. And that alternate art, man.
Yeah, I really like the art on the card.
I do too.
Now, it was mentioned earlier in the year that we might be seeing Templar reprinted in Red Horizon 3. I can't remember. It was so long ago. Do you think we'll be seeing more cards like that? Or do you think that's going to be like the special printing?
You mean like in the core set?
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to see the black and white cards like that, but I think you'll see like that templating, like the wording and all.
Yeah.
So
So
I
like
think that's
the reprint will probably have like the same picture and it'll have like the same like text and stuff like that, but I don't think it'll be black and white.
Yeah, it'll definitely be blue.
Yeah, it'll be blue, of course.
because they just added a new type of card, white card, trademark, team tap out.
See, there's a card.
White card.
Why not? Sounds like a good idea.
Okay. It's not the worst idea.
I think the purple card has the best artwork in the game.
The logo.
Just because you have like 50,000 of them?
I don't have 50,000, but I do have a good amount of the purple card.
What's even cooler about it is when you flip it around, isn't the logo on the back
It is,
upside
actually.
down?
It is. Like, if you turn it like this way, it is upside down.
Get inverted. Oh my god, my blood.
Yeah.
I come to think that
damn
this
good.
is part in the game, though.
Alright, I'll be completely honest, I entirely forgot who's on the purple card nowadays.
Is it
I don't even
Astronaut?
know. I think it is Astroth, actually. Or he was, at least.
Good old Asti.
I know Matt McDaniel played Astroth, the purple card, at the Poughkeepsie PTC.
Yeah.
But, like...
Because I threatened him right beforehand not to play Vincent Gray.
Wow.
Well, I shouldn't say I threatened him. I just told him if he didn't want to be diversified, not to play it.
Strongly encouraged him not to.
Like, if you don't want me to pin you against the wall with my forearm, you play a different character.
So I noticed there was a thread on the forums the other day talking about kind of what to keep your eyes out for in the post bannings meta, and with the new Darkstalkers 10s coming out, and since those just came out, I didn't read through the whole thing to see if you guys already commented, but are there any immediate thoughts or characters that come to the front of y'all's mind? Like, I feel like, Jack and Phil are both still really good. They didn't lose a whole lot from the bannings. But as far as any of the new stuff, or maybe KOF characters that weren't seeing any love, maybe seeing some love?
I think if Mature wasn't already good, it's even better now. I
Talking
think
about like the
I know
the
Gene might not have wanted me to say that, but I think Mature is going to see
the 20 attack plus
massive
mature deck that just tries to
offensive.
kill you every turn.
I have like a 28 attack build right now that is very consistent.
Yeah.
I'm playing 24 right now. I'm probably gonna play for Michigan, unless I find something else. It's a really good deck. But as far as like decks, like of course Kim didn't get touched, so he's still a threat. But I think more people are gonna be like prepared for him.
You say that about Kim, and I've said it before. I've said it now since the bannings. Kim is very hard to play on the turn 3 clock, and with more aggro being put into the meta, that's a very scary way to play. Round 1 of Simpson, I played against a Vice, and it put me in a situation where I had to win by turn 3, or I was done. And I ended up losing that game. The game had the choice to where being on a turn 3 clock with that Kim deck is very brutal because you play so many assets and you have the chance of drawing into them that you don't get to build at the same rate. You can win turn 2 and turn 3, but turn 4 is the most comfortable play for it. And the aggro decks now that can play without K-Dash, without Vespera, without all of that, I don't think it's nearly as viable as it was before.
I think it is.
I think Ben Shoemaker is wide open now. I've loved that deck.
You're gonna need to talk to Ben Shoemaker about that.
For months leading
I don't know if he's convinced on such tales.
He might not think so, but for months leading up to Gen Con, that was the deck that I wanted to play. And just with K-Dash running around, I couldn't do it. And before that, I was even testing it with Maxima on the board, and it just... and Chin, and now with everything that's gone, I can't see how Ben isn't going to be a force. Because as it was, he topped the Atlanta PTC with it, and I still feel very confident that had he run Self-Proclaimed Legends in there, that he would have beaten the Vespera deck in the top 8. I don't think he could have beaten your K-Dash, but I think he could have made it all the way to the finals against K-Dash.
I think that's a Ben's good, the player and the card, but I think that's tough. I mean, like I'm still not sold on 7 Hand-Sizers being viable again. I mean, like Kaplow being gone goes a long way. P-Touch being gone goes a long way, but there's still Chasm Buster. There's still all these like really efficient attacks. Iori being gone goes a long way as well. But don't get me wrong, like I'm testing 7-handers almost exclusively right now, but I'm not sold on the idea that a lot of people seem to think that they're perfectly fine now, like they're back in it. It's not going to be a problem. I still think that they're underpowered comparatively.
With the right attack base with Shoemaker, like he can pop off with very limited foundations, and if your opponent's going to try to pop off on turn 3 or even go at you, being able to discard their hand that early is so drastic. So just any sort of preparation, if you have a good defensive foundation base, you're basically setting them up that if they don't kill you on turn 3, you're going to crush them on the backswing. And even if they don't attempt to kill you on their turn 3, that you have a very viable chance to kill them on turn 3 of your own.
Well, another thing with Ben, say we're playing him air now.
I keep talking about a turn 3 clock, and I think that is huge. With where the meta's going, I think a lot of decks are going to put you on, if you're not in a position to live past turn 3, you're going to have to go for it, because many decks are going to put you in a situation where you won't live past that.
Well, another thing with Ben, say we're playing him all air, like every card air. We play Pharaoh Salvation. I mean, you also play Templar, so he can survive on Templar too.
Now you get to run Deadly Precision and bounce back your range blocks and play those cards. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, he's definitely good, and I don't think the deck's bad by any means. I think Protoman's good as well.
Oh yeah, I think he's really good.
Personally, I keep toying around with Chaos Pitting Maru. That's right, you heard it here first. I'm stunning the whole board every turn, but he didn't want to block. He gets a little bit better with some of Victor's cards, but I still think the deck's just kind of, and some of Lilith's cards. I think he's just missing a little something.
Alrighty. Are there any other characters you think that are going to be a bit more relevant nowadays?
Ralph. I love that Ralph deck. Like I built a Ralph deck and I put it. Well, Brett Hillman and I built a Ralph deck, and it's been doing very well in testing. I really like it. Like every attack he throws 8 damage, and it's a brutal deck. It's a very fun deck to give to a new player. But like say you put it in the hands of an expert, it's a brutal deck. I like it a lot. So I think Ralph is pretty good.
I think the new Donovan, I don't know who's going to figure out the way to do it best. I don't know what the build that does it best is, but I feel like that new Donovan's pretty solid.
Yep, new Donovan Sod. A lot of people are going to play that Huitzel guy. Like harnessing chaos with him is pretty nasty.
I haven't seen Donovan in my opinion. I don't see it as.
I think it's really good. Like his ability is 2 perfect accuracies.
Yeah, and he can off of order. You can run him with what is it? The silence. So then like you hit something with silence, and then you just blank the other 2, or vice versa because it's first form. But I don't know. I mean, I think there's something there. He's a very controlling character, and I feel like that's what you have to, if you want to counter these turn 3 decks that need like key foundations or things like that. That might be the kind of character that can do it, since there's no K-Dash or Vespera. I mean, Vespera's still there, but she's not nearly as intimidating now.
Actually, that's something I'm starting to see a lot in my meta, or is not the Roar of Time, the Neomax K-Dash being played.
It seems like a lot of people are doing that. It's like dual persona for speed.
Yep.
I haven't tried it out yet, but I hear it's like people are playing it. I'm not sure how well it's doing, but I'd be excited to see one of those K-Dashes stop.
Let me see if I can send you the deck list. This is what he had me build. Like, he told me what the deck list was, and I was going to feature this later. I'll still feature this later. I'll just put it in the chat. You guys can look at it. There you go. It's in the chat. It's an interesting build. He's new at building, but, you know, do what I can to help him out. Hopefully soon we will have our Darkstalkers pre-release over in Nashville, but, you know.
Did it let you open up
eventually?
Nah, it's blank for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think you just took it to 12
All right, now refresh it.
Is it like off of Evil?
Oh, there it is. Yeah, it looks like it's an Evil build. Yeah, it's running a Chasm.
Chasm Buster. Confine. It's a Confine deck.
All right. Anyways, is there anything else we want to discuss before we close up?
But UFS is too damn good.
You took the words out of my mouth.
Everyone knows it's true.
I know it's true. I just, you know.
I'll just say I love the bannings, and I think it's going to put the game in a very good place. And I hope that it allows people to teach new people how to play, because it's going to be a really good time to play in the next couple months.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the Michigan Pro Tour. Very excited for that.
Now, are you excited for the Michigan Pro Tour because of UFS, or are you excited for the Michigan Pro Tour because of the Whirly Ball and the hot dog eating tournament?
I'm not going to participate in the hot dog eating contest, but Tyler McCartan says he wants to. He wants to. He says he's going to win the hot dog eating contest. I've never played Whirly Ball, so I'm excited for that, and I'm excited for UFS. But most importantly, I'm excited to see everybody. Everybody who is going to be there. It's going to be a really good event.
Yeah, it always is for those guys, and I hope they have a fantastic time up there.
Thank you.
Anybody else before we close out?
I'd like to thank you for having us on, and I'd like to thank these guys for having me on their team. It's been a great run. Had a blast.
We're glad that you joined the team, and again, thank you for having us on here. But it was a blast.
love talking to you guys. It's always fantastic to find a way to we still get to see each other, even if it's this way.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure.
Still counts. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. All right. So again, thank you guys for coming. I'm sorry the show was kind of a little bit of dead air here and there. It's a Sunday night. We're all tired, and we all come to that sudden realization: crap, we got to go to work in the morning. Kind of why I do these things on Thursday nights. We're a bit more at work because we're eagerly anticipating the weekend. All right, so again, thank you guys so much for coming. It was fantastic seeing you guys. Next week, I got no clue, guys, so we'll have to play it by ear. I will figure it out as I go along, as I usually do. Again, thank you to Team Tap Out. You guys were fantastic.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much.
I look forward to seeing what kind of a card you three can devise. And that will be it for tonight, guys.
Take it easy.
Take it easy.
See ya. Thank you for watching.
Have a good one.
Take